Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. And today we've got the pleasure of once again watching Gabriel playing from the North American server, this time in their ISU 130. Now you might remember Gabriel from late last year having the highest experience game that anyone managed to achieve in 2022. And Gabriel is smashing new records in this rare and exclusive glass cannon of a tank. It is the ISU 130. Now I believe the ISU 130 was given to, I think it was moderators on the European server as far as I can remember, or it might be a reward for participating in a super test. The vehicle, I believe, has only been sold on the Asia server, although it might have been sold on the North American server as well. However, this is one of the vehicles which I personally don't have on my main account on the European server, so I expect that this one hasn't been publicly available for sale, at least yet, on the EU server. But let me know if you've managed to get one of these tanks and how you got your hands on it, or if you just know about how the ISU 130 PM has been released across a variety of servers. So, this tank, the Tier 8 Soviet tank destroyer, is kind of like an ISU 152 with regards to its hull at Tier 8, but the gun is oh so different. Everybody knows the ISU 152 has a 152mm gun, which people like Jingles very, I guess, admirably called it things like the troll cannon back in the day. Now, unfortunately, the ISU 130, it's not hitting nearly as hard as that. It has really weird ammunition on this tank. It has standard rounds with 490 alpha damage, with only 238mm of pen. But what gets really creepy is that the premium rounds on this tank, you actually do more damage for less penetration. 212 pen, down from that 230, but your alpha damage goes up from 490 up to 570. So it's really weird, and this is how a lot of people kind of thought that premium rounds should work in World of Tanks. Maybe they should have more pen, but they should do less damage. Well, in this case, the premium rounds on this tank, they do more damage for less pen. So it's not always the right idea to fire one of these, but boy, when you hit them, you can make it work. Now, you are paying a top dollar to be able to fire these premium rounds here. They cost 4,000 a pop, which is way up from the sub 1,000 the regular rounds fire. But, you know, this is a full-blooded premium tank, and so it's going to be making lots of credits. And if you can manage to make these premium tanks work, like in nice matchups like this, then the ISU 130 actually has one of the highest damage per minute in the game. It's even more than the SU 152 firing with its 122mm at Tier 7. And it's only just a touch below tanks like the Tortoise. This is a top 5 or even a top 4 damage per minute tank inside the game, making all other Tier 10 tank destroyers apart from the Stridsvagn 103B and the Badger look really stupid. Now, of course, this is a glass cannon, i.e. it can't take a hit, but it does deal a significant amount of damage, and oh, that was cheeky. Gabriel using high explosive rounds there to not only save the premium usage, but also to be able to almost guarantee the one-shot there on the Basoto. However, Gabriel kind of mismanages their ammunition against the T-34-85 there, loading HE with an AP round would have probably been the better job for the side of the tank. This vehicle is just such a deadly tank on a ridgeline as well. Most Soviet tank destroyers have about 5, maybe 6 degrees of gun depression. This one is actually packing 8 degrees of gun depression, so if you're watching how Gabriel is able to just work a ridgeline so much, it's because of that. This vehicle looks like an absolute creep on a ridge. But look at its hit points, 1,000 hit points. That is like what the old ISU 152 had back in the day. I think it had 1,010 hit points off the top of my head. If I've remembered that, I'm a little bit weird. Well, we all know that. We all know you're very weird, QuickyBaby. We all know that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been creating content of this game for the last 11 years, nearly, boys and girls. It will be over 11 years on YouTube now and coming up for 11 years on Twitch very soon. But this vehicle doesn't have the buffed hit points that the ISU 152 has, because let's be honest, 1,000 really doesn't go very far at Tier 7, let alone at Tier 8. But this is kind of like bringing the argument into effect. Do you really need hit points, and do you need armor if you can be extra sneaky and work on a ridgeline, but also have kind of like Tier 10 tank destroyer damage per minute, as long as you're able to pen with the premium rounds on this vehicle, which once again have really poor penetration, which is 212. Alright, so Gabriel has just casually casually done 5,700 damage, which is probably more than enough to get an ace tanker in this battle. However, I can tell you, this isn't even half of what Gabriel is going to achieve in this game of World of Tanks. What we're about to see is how a top tier tank can start to really pump out that damage. 600 there against the OI, and look at the reload. It's outrageous. It's kind of like a badger in this regard. One through the side of the T-43, now turning their attention towards the IS. Can Gabriel find a shot here into the tier 7 heavy tank? They're actually switching to a gold round there. Good use of intuition again. If I manage to ever get my hands on one of these vehicles, I'm definitely going to have intuition on it. And you should really have intuition on pretty much all of your vehicles when you start to get like a 3 or a 4 skill crew, because it can make a tremendous difference. And especially considering that Gabriel probably has a tank like the Object 268, and then they're moving their crew from the 268 into the ISU 130. You'd be crazy to not want to have intuition on a vehicle like that, which has 395mm of heat pen. So Gabriel just casually not even looking at the Panther M10, which they managed to pretty much one-shot there. The Panther M10 not using a fire extinguisher in this battle. And now Gabriel, I mean, blink and you'll miss it, is up to 8,800 damage that we've seen. That is some insane damage output, not only from the ISU 130, but the fact that Gabriel was able to set a vehicle on fire while shooting another one, and just great use of ammunition here, and sets another vehicle on fire, the T-28 prototype, with slightly slow reactions, but able to extinguish the fire just in time for Gabriel to have to waste, I guess, 4,000 credits to be able to finish them off. Now up to 10,000 damage. Is this the dream of World of Tanks? Gabriel is now on a level playing field with my highest damage game, which was in a 60 TP. And yeah, Gabriel's in a tier 8, ladies and gents, and they've managed to do it in 7 minutes of World of Tanks fury. But no hit points and poor durability, but great play by their Gabriel to turn the vehicle to the side, catching the track on the Renegade. And the Renegade probably thinks, whoa, that thing hit me pretty hard, surely it can't be reloading as quickly again. Look how relentless Gabriel is. He's going right in after the Renegade again. It takes too long to be able to swing the vehicle around and gets finished off. So it looks like you probably do need a few hit points and do need a little bit of armor on this tank. But in that time, Gabriel was able to take a Renegade from full health down to being about 10 or 15% of their initial hit points. Well, look at that, with 1,500 damage. Unfortunately, Gabriel switched off to watch the Lerva here in this situation. 1,500 damage dealt to that Renegade in just 3 shots. Again, leaving on that 158 hit points. So I guess if I'm being pedantic, it was actually more 1,550 damage dealt to the Renegade. And hopefully Gabriel has carried hard enough here in this tier 8 game. The Lerva's going to finish off the Renegade, and the T-29 is going to finish off the KV-2. Destroying half of the enemy team and doing 11,500 damage in a tier 8 tank. This was the definition of glass cannon farming in World of Tanks, with Gabriel pretty much putting the team on their back and dealing like 5 times more damage than what anyone else was able to achieve, and 10 times what anyone else apart from the BZ-176 was. In fact, Gabriel managed to do 2 times more damage than the other 14 players on their team combined. This is just a pure example of a one-man team here, and the kind of fight that you have to do when you feel like you're in those 1 versus 29 scenarios. And because this is a premium tank, even though Gabriel did spend 66,000 credits on ammunition and some on the premium consumables there, they still make 300,000 credits profit. Not bad, right? And when you pretty much are the entire team, then you get an experience reward of 2,538 base experience, which is pretty much double what you would require to get an ace tanker in this rare elusive glass cannon. So Gabriel, congratulations to you on this absolute mammoth game of World of Tanks, and I just absolutely loved this replay so soon after watching your game on the Boras towards the end of last year. And thank you very much for uploading your replay onto the What Replays website, and also putting my name in the title to be able to get my attention. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and you've made me very jealous about not having this vehicle, and I'd love to get my hands on one on the European server. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, I hope you all enjoyed this replay too. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know in the comments, what is your favorite tank that you go to consistently do large amounts of damage. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.